Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. This is a live commentary. Oh, there's the camera. Hi. This is a live commentary of the King's Chill remix album that we've done and that we are currently crowdfunding on bit.ly/kingschill. And what it is essentially a remix album of King's Quest tunes. So, without further ado, I should probably introduce the lovely gentleman currently present, Brandon Bloom. Hello. Yes. Brandon did a couple of very, very awesome synth-wavy kind of remixes on this. Also played guitar. And John Paul Sapsford, the black window on top of the screen there. Hello? Oh, there you go. That's weird. Oh, there you go.
Am I back?
You're on. Yep. Discord just had a fit on me. Anyway, hello.
Hi.
Hi. And in the text chat, we also have our fourth compatriot, JBH, who contributed one remix and did some mixing on some of the tracks. It's all gonna be good.
Awesome.
Stop it. There you go.
There we go.
There it is.
Lovely visualization.
That's cool.
Put that together last night, and instead of anything productive, really. So this is Gwydion's tune from King's Quest 3. John, can you tell me about why did you pick this one?
Well, I picked it because, one, I spent countless hours stuck as Gwydion in this basement and all that bullshit as a kid. But I really like the music because it has a kind of a modern Japanese classical feel to it, with the part that's coming up here with the real small modulations and stuff like that. I am a huge Uematsu fan, and it reminded me of him. So I just kind of said, hey, let's do something with this one.
Nice.
And then you threw in some lovely 80s synths, panned heart left and right, and my heart just melted.
I love how it goes from, gentle and sort of, a sad theme for Gwydion, then goes into this really ominous feeling. And the original does that too, I think, but this just amped it right up. And
oh yeah,
I love
yeah,
the
it kind of shows that he's in very much danger of a creepy old man.
I have a lot of questions about King's Quest 3, but I did a video on that. Yeah. You'll notice, of course, the visualization I picked was specifically emptying Mananan's chamber pot. Because that is, of course, the most degrading thing the game has you do. And we're straight into Oracle by Brandon Bloom.
One thing I noticed when hearing these two songs back to back, and besides the fact that it was a complete accident that it seems to move into the next, so the transition is just beautiful. These two themes are very similar. It's like one is kind of a sad, depressing version, and the Oracle is a lot more hopeful and happy. But it's very similar notation if you listen to them. They are.
And they are two vastly different composers. One was Margaret Lowe, Al Lowe's wife, who did King's Quest 3. And this was Chris Brayman. For King's Quest 6.
To the point where I wonder if he did it on purpose, but maybe not. But there's also kind of some notation in there that reminds me of the Oracle theme from King's Quest 3, but not as much.
What is it with King's Quest and Oracles anyway?
Fantasy. You gotta have a fortune teller of some kind.
Sure. Okay. So, one thing that I've always wondered about this, that "come on" voice that's sort of lurking in the background. Is that your little Mike Oldfield homage of many? Where does that come from?
No, that's some of the drum loop samples I used for this were from a plugin called Beatscape that comes with Sonar, or Cakewalk now. And that was just one of the samples in there, and I thought it sounded great. It was like a chill. It's not like "come on," it's like "come on." It's very chill, so I thought it worked great. Most of the synths I use for this actually are Korg Wave Station and Korg Legacy, they're both old 80s synths, I think, like keyboards.
Yeah.
But I have the plug-in versions, and I thought, I don't know, it sounds very chill out, sounds great to me.
It has a very...
That part there, where the bass drops, actually took a little while to get right. I couldn't just hit a note and then drop the pitch down 4 whole steps or whatever. I had to, for half of it, I drop it 2 steps, and then I have to hit another note and drop it another 2 steps. So it sounded like it was dropping the whole scale, because I couldn't change how far the pitch shift. Remember you ran into that with the Space Quest 6? You couldn't change the pitch wheel range?
Right, yeah.
I had to cheat it for that.
Apparently, Sierra Games use these very strange pitch bend ranges that are not standard for General MIDI.
Well,
and
at
some
least Dan
VST
Keller did with his MIDI guitar.
Yes, he did. Space Quest
Probably
6 was...
where it comes from.
But the guitar! Man, the guitar. Well, this is a Mike Oldfield moment.
Yeah, I was definitely channeling Mike Oldfield here. I originally wasn't going to put the guitars in because I'm like, okay, that's too big, too epic. It's not chill out. It should just be the synth and leave it at that. But I recorded it anyway, and as you guys were saying, and I agree now, it kind of makes it more chill out. It kind of balances it out.
Yeah. Kind of laid back. It's not like a shreddy solo. I mean, it's very new wave. What was that?
Yeah.
That whole thing that Mike Oldfield got lumped in with at the start of the 80s.
New Age.
New Age, that's not New Wave. New Wave's a lot of black nail polish and...
It's very soaring, and it's a lot of legato. It's not visceral. It's impassioned, but yeah, I love the way he plays, and I totally mimic it when I solo. So. He plays with his fingernails instead of a pick, and I do the same thing.
Nice.
But I love it.
I also like how it completely
outrun music.
Outrun music, yeah. It fit perfectly with the end of the Oracle scene. I don't know if you timed it, but
no.
I just put in a clip of the Oracle scene from my recording, and that was it. And I didn't edit any of it. It just magically fit. Yeah.
Wow. And your Dwarf Chills track.
Yeah, this is mine. This was not mixed by me though, because or mastered. Sorry, I'm not very good at mastering. I'm getting better.
Well, you did give us the stems, so it is. I did mix and master it.
Yeah.
I get to play with some new features too for this one that I never used before, and it seems to come out pretty good. Cakewalk has these new little small VSTs that go onto the channel strip, and they're like built in, but like there's a saturation knob and a couple other things, and I played with them. I never played with them before. I was like, oh, this stuff sounds pretty good. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to experiment.
Oh, my
the
pleasure.
Pro channel, right, man?
Huh?
The Pro channel, right?
Yes, that's what it is. The Pro channel.
I love the Pro channel.
It's
so handy.
good. I've never used it that much except for the EQ and maybe compression, but there's tons of great stuff in there. And by the way, Cakewalk by BandLab is free, so you can anyone out there can try it out. It's got some great tools in there. I'm actually really impressed.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I use Mixcraft, and that's because I was contracted to do the music for a game called Absolute Zero, and they said, do you need a music program? Do you need a DAW? And I said, yeah. I really like Ableton Live. And they go, that's really expensive. You can have Mixcraft. So they gave me Mixcraft, and so this tune was stuck in my head for weeks after playing King's Quest 4. It is so catchy.
Really puts the worm in your ear, eh?
It does.
And that little whistle that just soars off there.
Very whimsical, and
yeah,
it doesn't resolve, so it just keeps going. It makes you want to keep listening to it.
And I read
somewhere shepherd's tone, where it just never ends.
Yeah, exactly. I read somewhere that William Goldstein has this fantastic gift for improvisation. Most of the tunes he composes just him sitting down at the piano and just playing for 10 or 15 minutes and outpours like 3 or 4 wonderful themes that he just then cuts up and goes, all right, that's there. So I'm just imagining him improvising this tune just on the piano going, that sounds pretty good. Dude!
That's a gift to be able to just churn out hits like that.
Yeah.
Earworms. That's why he's a film composer, I guess.
A pretty good one. Even though his claim to fame is, ironically, Fame, the 80s disco fantastic TV series. So, shamefully, I did not program these drums myself. These drums are from looperman.com, which is a free repository of drum loops. I am capable of programming my own drums. I can in fact even play drums, but I got lazy on this one, so I just pulled some drum loops in.
Sounds good. Sounds like the right at home.
Oh, and I've been meaning to ask you, because the way I do these remixes is, rip the MIDI files from the game itself, dump them in the DAW, and just play with different instrumentations, double some tracks, have a play with it. Did you guys do the same thing? Did you start with the MIDI as a bass, or did you just sit down and play?
I did. For Oracle, I straight up, after I mapped the proper tempo and everything fit to measures and beats, I just copied a lot of the instruments. A couple of them I did by hand for Oracle, but yeah, for both the tracks I did and the one I'm making for Volume 2.
That one was not me. That was Brandon. Brandon went, is this too much? And I went, no.
I was experimenting, and like it needs to have a big,
like a little.
It's crescendo, but it's like an anti-crescendo.
Yeah.
It's just a low pass filter that goes down and up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't take credit for that one, but
also that clap sound effect that it's actually not a clap. It's the reverse white noise sound you used to build up, and I just reversed it again and lowered the pitch.
Ah, nice. So
I was
John,
very careful about not wanting to add new things to your track.
John, did you start with MIDI, or did you play it by ear?
For like Girl in the Tower, the intro part is pretty much just what Mark Siebert played, or I assumed he played. But after that, it was all just taking those chords and extrapolating out from there and playing the parts over again.
Okay. Right, because the source MIDI you used was for when it's the scene in the game where you're talking to Cosima through the wall or whatever, and it's just it's a shortened version, right? Without all it's not the end version.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a verse and a melody.
That was brilliant to build off of that version. Oh, another one by you.
Here we go. This one is, I mean, we were talking about, we have a little tidbits of ominous synths going on with the intro and such. This one is just, there's no rhythm, and there's just this arpeggio that carries through the entire thing. This is probably the creepiest track on the album.
Yeah, I liked this one because it was completely unsynced. There was no quantization or whatever done originally. It was just very freeform. I'm like, let's take this one and kind of run with it and make it sound abstract. Throw in a few really low sample rate audio samples at the end and see what happens.
Yeah, which you pulled from the floppy version, right? With the bad Sierra.
Yeah, I pulled it from the floppy version just for ridiculous's.
Just to be different.
Is that?
I think it's fun. They sound great.
Oh, that's so interesting. For those of you who don't know, the floppy version and the CD version both have voiced intros, but the floppy version's intro is done by Sierra employees, just in a cupboard somewhere, whereas the CD-ROM version has professional voice actors. So that's interesting. You took the floppy disk. I actually didn't notice that. Yeah,
towards the end you can hear them talking. It's a little lower, but it's just a nice subtle effect.
Yeah, I was trying to do a little bit with the restoring it, but that's not my game for sure. Being able to make those sound good.
No.
I think it's right on point with the Chill Out album too. For some reason, low sample rate samples just fit. So
yeah. They usually use like clips from 60s and 70s TV shows and movies and such, and you usually record it off the TV with like a dictaphone and stuff. So that all works.
11,000 hertz low bit rate.
Yeah.
DOS sound effects are the new 60s vinyl record samples.
Yeah. I even threw in there's a. Oh, that's actually not on this album, but I did the basement theme in King's Quest V when you're trapped inside the inn, and there's a sample from the innkeeper that says "rough him up" or something.
Rub him out.
Rub him out, yeah. And I actually put distortion and filters and everything on top because it was too clean.
Yeah. Make it even less bitrate.
Yeah.
I guess we shouldn't ignore JBH's saying stuff in the chat too.
No, there's a question in the chat that I've been meaning to get to. What made you guys decide to go with a Chillwave remix album as opposed to like polka? JBH says he'd be down with a polka remix. I'm not sure I'd be qualified for that. I can't play the accordion.
I'd say that we didn't do it because Weird Al exists, and he's already the king of that.
Yeah. I like this little arpeggio, no, this little arp.
It sounds like this actually reminds me of sound effects I used for Space Quest 2 VGA and Volhal's Asteroid. Just computer beeping sounds, and
yeah,
for some reason it fits very well with that theme. This is my favorite track on the album. Crispin's theme has always been my favorite Sierra theme ever, maybe with the exception of Thorine from Space Quest 4. But I love this track, and he did such a good job covering it. And I think it's the most chill out, quintessential chill out sound on the album too. At the same time, it's the perfect. It could be a title track for the album. I love this song,
dude. Thanks. It's the weird thing about this one is I just pulled it from the King's Quest V resource audio, and I had no idea what theme it was. So the file name on my computer was something like some whimsical bullshit.mid. and I asked on the SQH Discord, what tune is this? I just did a chill remix and I don't know where it goes. And I don't remember who said, it's Crispin's theme. I think it might have been you, Brandon, actually. Said, it's Crispin's theme.
Yeah, it's my favorite theme from the game.
Oh, whoops.
So good. And the name is really clever too. Crisp and chill.
That is such a... Oh, God. Now, this bit is so off rhythm, so that's why there's no beat under this. This was just...
I think part of the reason that so many notes in these tracks are offbeat on purpose is so that it doesn't run into the polyphony limit with too many notes sounding at the same time on lesser sound devices, so that kind of staggers them. And Mark Siebert is pretty clever about making that sound natural. They did the same thing with Heretic and Hexen, actually.
Yeah. But you run into a little bit of problems with, for instance, the solo, the electric piano solo running right now. I had to do a lot of sort of fine-tuning to get the rhythm, and it's still not perfect. It's still sort of, there are a couple of bits there where I go, that's offbeat.
It's fine.
Yeah, there's a little bit there. We never actually answered the question, why did we decide to do a Chillwave remix album?
Decision. It was your decision.
Yeah, what was the first? Was it you that did the first one just on a whim, right, Trolls?
I was just doing the King's Quest videos, and because it's just 30 minutes of me prattling on about how much I hate these games, it needed some sort of music in the background, and the tunes from the games are all like 1 minute, 1.5 minute if you're lucky, especially in the old AGI games. So I just did just did a chill out music that had nothing to do with King's Quest and put that in the first King's Quest video. And then for King's Quest 2, I did another chill out music bit that had nothing to do with King's Quest and put that in the video. And then by the time we got to King's Quest 3, I started reusing the chill music because I thought it fit quite well, actually. A guy talking and then this chill music underneath. And by the time we got to King's Quest 4, there was an actual soundtrack in the game. So that's where I think Dwarf Chill was the first chill out remix I did. And then once we got to like King's Quest 6, people were starting to say, maybe you should like, can we have like a soundtrack album of the chill remixes? And I was like, sure, why not? And then Brandon jumped in my SQH Discord and said, I actually did the forest music from King's Quest 5 and what was the other one?
Mordex Catacomb Maze.
Right, yeah, the Mordak Maze.
Ages ago in FL Studio, I think when it was originally called Fruity Loops. Like I was using the demo and I made them way back then and just never finished them. And I just shared them and you're like, you should finish those. And then you're like, we should do an album.
Yeah, because I was like, that has to go on the Chill Out album. Those are great, but they were just like 1 minute 30 bits of unfinished bits. And
like really short.
And they're not on this album. They will hopefully be on Volume 2.
Yeah, I have to flesh them out. I haven't used FL Studio in a while, so...
Maybe you should just throw the stems in. And so this one. This is the Josh Groban cover. Which is not made by any of us. It's made by JBH, who is in the chat. And... the reason why we're joking about Josh Groban, who, by the way, can go to hell, is that when I uploaded this video to YouTube, the one we're watching right now, it got a copyright notice from Sony Music that said it was Josh Groban's Christmas song, whatever the hell it was.
What child is this?
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He covered. What Child Is This are Christmas lyrics written for the music of Greensleeves in 1865. And Henry VIII wrote Greensleeves. So they're both public domain. And this is just YouTube and the RIA being what they are, useless.
Yes. But it was... This version, this epic version, closes out side A on the vinyl. And it was made by JBH, who just threw in some rock guitar. And when that thing hit, I just went, this has to go on the album. It's perfect. Side A closes with the ubiquitous King's Quest theme. I think King's Quest 1 and 2 both used Greensleeves.
Yep.
And it was just, and JBH was like, it's not really that chill, is it? And I was like, I don't care. It's going on the album.
Of all the themes too, like the Greensleeves version that King's Quest 1 and 2 used was kind of jaunty and happy, and this is just like epic and serious. And it's like perfect finish to side A. Absolutely.
It is. And the rhythm is so slow and plodding, and it's almost like a funeral dirge. It's almost dirgy, and it's beautiful.
Celebration of life or death in King's Quest case.
It's got everything. So this was an absolute shoo-in. It probably, like, if you're being a real stickler for genres, no, this doesn't qualify as chill, but I don't care. It's fantastic.
It's awesome.
Yeah, when that F hits and it just opens up, it's perfect. It's a killer version.
Also, I don't want to let it slip by that JBH also mixed and mastered Crisp and Chill that just played, right? Is that right, or was that you, John? That was JBH.
No, it wasn't me. That was JBH.
He really made that come out and sound great.
Yeah.
Did he do this one too?
I think John did this one. No, wait, that was JBH as well.
JBH.
Yeah, because I can't master for shit, so all of my tunes were mastered by the other guys.
I did a few that are going to hopefully be on the Volume 2.
Yeah.
Like Basement Boogie, is that you?
Yeah, Basement Boogie.
Basement Boogie and a couple other ones.
You did Witch's Groove, which is on this album.
Yeah.
And this starts off side B on the vinyl. We should talk about the vinyl briefly. The vinyl is being crowdfunded on Curates. It's phenomenally cheap, but it needs 200 backers minimum. And it's a beautiful, swirly, psychedelic vinyl with some lovely photography by our friend Epic Potato Fiend, who staged his MIDI keyboard and his old CRT monitor and the little King's Quest V jewel case CD-ROM. And actually, King's Quest V is running on the CRT monitor. That's the cover. And then on the back is, I believe, John's music store with a neon light coming through the window. And also an old CRT monitor on the floor, and it's I'm actually kind of sad that we didn't get to use Brandon's artwork, which were shots of Castle Daventry run through some amazingly tripped up filters
in the synthwave outrun style. And there's the great big synthwave sun set, but there's a big Sierra half dome covering it, so it looks like the Sierra logo. It's pretty fun. It's not even finished yet, but it's fine that it's not being used for this because it's not really a synthwave album. But I'll find a use for it at some point. It looks really cool.
I was thinking actually we could just do it for Volume 2, but we'll see. And Chris Bremen actually liked this tune. So that's a little... Oh, I was a little touched by that.
Oh,
So
nice.
He's actually heard this one. He heard my own mix of it, though, so he would probably be doubly impressed if he heard JBH's version. One thing JBH did that I really appreciate is that in my mix, the little Commodore 64 thing that's playing the Arabian influenced lead was just stationary. It was just like in panned slightly to the left, but JBH made it sort of swirl around your head. So it just pans in a slow swirl, and that just works so much better.
Great.
And this breakdown, I can't take credit for this one either. JBH, I mean, mine did break down here, but JBH played with the with the drum loops. I think he slowed one down, and oh, we got a spam bot. Cool.
We're already famous.
Yeah, off you go.
That.
Oh, CGD.
I love this track so much. It's a great opener to side B.
It was one of the late ones, and I was actually saving it for Volume 2 because it was one of the late ones we did. But the other one I had, Basement Boogie, it's like 7.5 minutes, so it was just this chunk. And you can only have like 20 minutes on a side of vinyl, so it just ate up too much space. So I chucked that one for Volume 2, maybe. And everyone seemed to like Isle of the Chill better anyway, so... what program do you use to stream remote webcam video on Twitch? This is just OBS. We're just in a Discord DM, and I just captured the browser. It's not. We're not fancy. Oh, I did drum programming for this one. I actually programmed the drums.
Oh.
Yay me.
Excellent. Excellent.
Oh wait, no, yeah. Well, technically, I programmed the main drum loop, and then there's these little extra, like you do a high pass filter on some drum loops, so it's just the kind of things, and you just have those in the background. But
The best way to do it.
I remember when I was really young and playing around with trackers. When I was a late teenager, I was playing with Impulse Tracker, and I was listening to a lot of The Prodigy, and I was wondering how they got those really chaotic drum loops, breakbeat loops. And I figured out if you just took 2 or 3 drum loops and made sure they were in the same tempo and just mashed them on top of each other, that's a breakbeat. And I've done that since then.
Yeah, basically. What's next after King's Chill? Well, as far as vinyl go, or...
Yeah, good question. We've done a bunch. When I say we, we have done a bunch of space. I shouldn't really take credit for that because, especially with Space Quest 6, which is about to go into production, Brandon did a lot of work on that one. He's in the credits way too many times. And the next vinyl, I think, is going to be a Space Quest 1 and 2 split vinyl where we re-orchestrated the Apple II GS versions. But we will do a Volume 2. We have, I think we have enough material for Volume 2, for King's Chill Volume 2. Oh, I love this tune so much.
I actually was going in a completely different direction with this, and I shared what I had on the Discord, but then I was going through patches on one of my synths plugins, and I found that really airy pad that's in the background. I'm like, okay, everything stops. It's all changing. This is what I'm going to do. Yes. And this is actually... I had started using the MIDI as a source for this, but when I found that pad, I decided, okay, this has got to really change. It's going to be Vaporwave, and I'm going to change the time signature to 6/8 instead of 4/4. So I re-recorded everything from scratch, basically, except for like maybe one thing.
I never noticed that the original wasn't in 6/8 because it's also there's no like beat on the original. It's just bunches.
It's 4/4. So I go 6/8 in the beginning, and then when it gets to the bridge, I switch back to 4/4. And then when it repeats the chorus at the end, I keep it in 4/4 and just slow it down and drop the key, which is apparently a very Vaporwave thing to do. It's like a slowed down tape recorder or something.
Yeah. See, I thought it was 4/4, but in shuffle. Shuffle is
1,
such
2,
a
5, 6, 1, 2. Okay, now it's 4/4.
yeah. And actually, John is a music teacher, so all that jazz about time signatures and key changes and such. From a professional standpoint, what is your verdict on this one?
Well, so going from 4/4 to 6/8. 6/8's kind of like 4/4 with triplets, and it's more than anything, it's just trying to describe a feel. The 6/8 had that swaying feel to it.
Yeah. What's the difference between 6/8 and 4/4 in shuffle?
Well, the shuffle is just stretching out the triplets, or the eighth notes rather. It's like you're tying together the first two of a triplet. A triplet.
Yeah. I can play them, but I don't know. I suppose this makes more sense if you can actually read notation, which I can't.
Yeah, it's the shuffle is incredibly difficult to do with digital audio workstations.
Sierra Chest. Hi, Rudy. Good to see you, man. Oh shit! The Circle of Fifths and hardcore music theory killed my music career. Oh, dude, I took music theory in high school, and the first thing our teacher said, it was advanced music. It was just called advanced music. It wasn't called music theory. It was just called advanced music. And the first thing he was going to teach us notation, and he said, "Don't worry, it's just like math." That's it. F for the rest of the year. Worst introduction ever.
Anyway, I've never had any musical education.
Nah, me neither. I mean, I've tried, but it just passes by me. The Circle of Fifths is still a baffling mystery to me.
I tell all my students, the Circle of Fifths is to music what the number pi is to mathematicians.
Yeah.
It means a whole lot.
I took piano lessons when I was very little and hated it, and then years later I picked up a guitar and just played it, and after a while I started to get pretty good at it. I tried to take guitar lessons back in a number of years ago, and that went much the same way. I tried it for about a month. I'm like, I just want to do this myself.
Yeah, I just want to play.
It's nice to know some of the rules so you know how to break them properly, but
that's why I landed on
some terminology and a few things, but
yeah, that's why I landed on drums, because one, I don't have to know scales, and I'm better rhythmically than I am with chords and chord progressions and stuff anyway, and I like messing with time signatures and beats and stuff, but when it comes to actually like composing melodies and stuff, I'm kind of like Gary Newman. I just hunt and peck and go two notes together. Yeah, they sound pretty good together.
Yeah, still the best way to do it.
And this is the Witch's Groove from King's Quest V, and I
play on words here, by the way. Groove.
Yeah. Oh, you got that.
Crisp and chill, Witch's Groove.
I don't know if she actually technically lives in a grove, but it's a foresty kind of. It's close. John Paul did the mastering on this one, and the original has this very wide pan saw wave, which is very just something I've loved for since I was a little kid, just listening to Commodore 64 soundtracks. This absolutely massive saw wave, and John actually took it down a notch. It's not as hard panned in this mix. It's a little more centered, which eases it in a little bit, but to make up for it, he took the drum loop and just kicked it in the nuts. So how do you go about this? Because the original mix was a bit of a mess, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, we went back and forth a few times on this one. But I'm a big fan on drums, even ones that aren't meant to sound big and metal, but of doing parallel compression, where you kind of sidechain the compression in, and just doing absolute nuclear explosion on that end of it, so it really adds some sustain.
Yeah.
Some it's just an explosion, like the 80s snare drum sounds, right?
It does have a Phil Collins-y vibe on the snare, doesn't it?
where it's
gated
not
thing.
as piercing, but it's definitely gonna punch on top of the mix when you really, really hammer that parallel compression down.
And you said something interesting. I think that was actually in relation to the basement boogie thing from King's Quest V, which again is not on this album, but will probably be on Volume 2, which also has a very wide saw wave thing. Apparently, that's all I can do. And you said that's one of the things that you would never personally try, or that you personally would be sort of not afraid to, but it's a stylistic choice that you hadn't encountered before.
Yeah, well, actually, I think I did say I'm afraid to do that because a good saw wave, like we were talking about, it was saw waves and guitar fuzz pedals. When they're working properly, it makes your eyes water.
Yes.
You know, and I don't know. I'm just afraid to do stuff like that personally. Which is why I love being able to, to mix and master some of this stuff, because it's stuff that I wouldn't normally do. Just, it's outside of my personal comfort zone, and I love doing that.
Oh, speaking of comfort zones, and speaking of time signatures, Brandon did the mastering on this one, and went down a massive rabbit hole of trying to get the beat to match up.
So the sequencing is pretty straightforward, right? And for the drums, but then you added this like swing loop behind it, or was that sequenced? That was a loop, or was it sequenced?
The main drum beat is something that I programmed, and then there is, again, you just take a drum loop that was in swing time, I think, in 4/4 swing, and just high pass filter, so it's just the hi-hats and the high frequencies.
Yeah, right.
And stick that underneath, so there's a little more excitement in the drums. Problematically, the original MIDI file for this is from
Road.
it's from King's Quest 2. It was composed by Al Lowe, and this is from the Apple II GS version of King's Quest 2. It plays when you kiss Valinus in the top of the tower. Problematically, I suppose problematically, is that Al, well, he did play it to a metronome. He didn't play it very strictly to a metronome. It was kind of everywhere, especially this arpeggio that bubbles underneath. We had to fiddle with the step enters, step
And
enter
that's
notes.
probably too, again, messing with notation location so that they're not running into polyphony or something. I don't know how the Apple II works in that regard, but I imagine there's got to be some kind of limit. I know even the Space Quest 1 theme in the DOS version kind of staggers notes so it's not hitting at the same time, because, well, with the Tandy 3-voice version anyway, because if two Tandy 3-voice tones sound at the same time, it kind of either cancel each other out or you wouldn't hear them both or something. So you stagger them so you can hear a bit of a chorus effect.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did a whole. I took this. The drums you sequenced were all in straight time with no swing, and then the notes were all over the place. But that loop that had the swing that you have in the background is like, that's what this whole song's got to be anchored to, is that swing. So I went in and painstakingly moved every single drum note and even some of the musical notes and time stretched in place. And so as a result, I just did enough mixing to make it sound clear, but most of my work was just getting it to be in time. Into that swing.
I mean, I did my absolute best with the original, but it was...
it's a mess. So
that was a pain in the ass. And it's only 2.5 minutes, too. And here we come to the grand finale. This one always had to end the album. And it's John Paul's remix of Girl in the Tower. We've already talked about it a little bit, but... please, sir, how did you end up doing this fantastic cover?
Well, I started just kind of picking through songs, in the, what is it, SCI view or whatever. Yeah. It just gives you the scene number and all that. Yeah. And I got about 30 seconds into doing it when I was talking to Brandon, I think, and I realized what song it was. I wasn't even really paying attention. I said, oh, right, this is the one that everyone does covers of and loves. So I better do this one right, or else people are going to bash me.
but I love that you. First of all, it's in halftime, and second of all, it has this giant synthwavy feel to it. Even the drums have this long echo on the snare. It just sounds massive.
Yeah, Brandon was actually helping me with the snare. I forget what it was. I think it was to tune it down or something like that to really make it soar. It was your suggestion, and it just really helped out.
Oh, I don't remember what I said, but I guess.
There was a lot of late night conversations.
Yeah, I don't remember much, which is perfect for a chill out album, right?
Right.
I also love how this song sounds really big, but the lead instruments are not abrasive. They're not like punchy or percussive. They're just kind of dreamy and floaty, and so you're just kind of being in. Which is again perfectly chill out.
It is very chill. It is very and it is very dreamy. It kind of gives me like Giorgio Moroder, Never-Ending Story vibes.
Yeah.
Go for stuff like that. You know, I love that kind of fantasy feel. You know, real the crystallized synth kind of sound.
Yeah.
Love that. And I'm a big fan of not using any verses. So I kind of went into the approach of, 2 choruses and a bridge.
Yeah. And it just keeps going. This could go for 7 minutes, and it would just be the. And the funny thing is, it's not until the bit that's playing right now, that chorus bit. It wasn't until that hit that it went, oh, it's "Girl in the Tower," because I as far as correct me if I'm wrong, but when you posted this in the Discord, it didn't have "Girl in the Tower" as the file name. It was just John Paul and then the internal identification in SCI Viewer. It just gives you they all have a numeric ID. And you just posted that, and I went, oh, this is pretty good. And then the "Girl in the Tower" bit came on. I was like, oh, you fucker.
Exactly what it was, because I wasn't even, when I was sifting through, I wasn't paying attention to what was what. I was just looking for stuff that I think I could work with, And it was JPS, work in progress, KQ6 155 or whatever it was.
Yeah. It's so good. Let's see. Rick says people love "Girl in the Tower." Some do.
Yes.
Some do.
Guilty. I'll take the fall. I love it. Sorry.
Someone has to. I think it's schmaltzy and terrible. But I like this cover.
Listening to it years after the fact, after 90s ballads have long come and gone and died and become cheesy and everyone makes fun of them, it's different than playing it for the first time and going, wow, this computer game is just like a Disney movie. Like, I grew up with that, so. Guilty.
Just like a Disney movie. Just like a Disney movie.
Just like it. In the uninformed 8-year-old's opinion.
And there it is. That is how the vinyl will maybe look, at least according to Curate's mock-up generator. Oh, it loops. But this was great fun. Thank you guys so much for getting up early as hell in the morning. King's Chill is available for pre-order. Let's see how many we're up to. It is currently sitting at 99 out of 200. So
let's make that 100. Full 50%.
Yeah, come on.
By the way, there's no profits being made.
Oh, right.
Just everywhere.
Absolutely. It's 100% non-profit. If there is any profit, we will donate the profits to the American Cancer Society for several reasons, one of which is it's not technically our music, even though we remixed it, so we would feel weird profiting off of it. Excuse me. And also because I'm mathematically incompetent, and if I had to split profits between whoever was involved, everyone would get mad at me.
It gets really hairy with the fact that you got everyone else to mix and master your songs.
Yeah, that too. If you guys want a free version, a free digital download of that, I've highlighted it here, but just go to spacequesthistorian.bandcamp.com. Once again, we are not accepting any money for it. You can download it for free as MP3 or FLAC or Wave or whatever you want. And Ganidarios just came through, so we are now officially at 50% funded. 100 out of 200 pre-orders. Please share the link if you will. It's on the top right of your screen, bit.ly/kingschill. We have 26 days to go. That's it. I'm gonna go pick up my son, and I wish you guys the very best of days. And Thank you to JBH in the text chat as well, who also contributed massively to this, but was unable to join us in the voice chat. I salute you, sir. And hey, I'll catch you around the Chrono stream. Bye.
Bye.